Rivoli. Join me as I show you how to make the Lunaria Pendant. It features SuperDuos and a crystal with a very simple bezel. If you need any materials, look below the video in the description where we list everything for you, as well as links to get back to our website if you're still in need of any materials. Gather up your supplies and let's get started. So to start this one, we are going to begin with the back of the bezel here, and we are using SuperDuos and Delica beads in size 11-0. I also have here some 15 OC beads and again those SuperDuos and a 14mm Rivoli with some 3mm crystal AB bicones. We're going to begin with some white dragon thread in size 6, and I have about 5 feet on my thread and needle, and I have a series of Delica and then SuperDuo, and I've done that 9 times. The first thing I'm going to do is let those drop down to the base of my 5 feet of thread, and I'm going to tie that into a circle. Tying this into a circle brings it into a loop, which is going to be the back of the bezel of the Rivoli here. Nice and simple little tie. And then we are going to get ready to step up. When we say step up, I know that my knot here is right next to the SuperDuo. I'm going to go through the next Delica and the next SuperDuo, and then we're going to step up to the second hole of the SuperDuo, meaning that we're going from the interior hole to the exterior hole of that SuperDuo. As we go to the exterior hole of the SuperDuo, we're going to go around and connect those with a 11 or 15 Delica 15. So we're going to go around the whole outer edge here, 15 Delica 15, and sew into the next second hole of the next SuperDuo. Whole way around here, 15 Delica 15 into the next one. Go around the whole entire 9 SuperDuos and add those together onto the piece. Do you want to get half-price kits every month? With the monthly kit subscription, you'll get 3 new kits for only $59.99, including free shipping. And you can pause or cancel your subscription at any time. And this month, new subscribers get an additional free kit as a welcome gift. Visit PotomacBeads.com/subscribe or click on the link in the description. As you add in your last group of beads here, what you're going to do is sew back through the first 15 and you're going to exit through the Delica. We're going to do a second row of our SuperDuos, which are going to sit right there on the outer edge. And to do so, I want you to use 1 and 2 15s, a SuperDuo, 1 and 2 more 15s, and then you're going to go over the top of the SuperDuos and the 15s and connect onto the next one of your Delica beads. You're going to sew through the Delica bead and only the Delica bead, letting your needle exit and create that second row. It sits right on top of the first row. 2 15s, SuperDuo, 2 15s through the next one of your Delica beads. Go ahead your whole piece here, adding in that second row of your SuperDuos. As you come around and add your last SuperDuo into place, you're going to be going into that first 11 OC bead. Now we're going to add another thing to that 11 OC bead. What we're going to add is 1, 2, and 3 of our 15s, and then you're going to sew back through that same Delica over through the 15, the SuperDuo. You're creating a little Pico trim or right angle weave right there. So see those 3 beads there? I'm sewing over then through the piece. Keep going over, bring your needle and thread out through that next Delica bead. So we're attaching to that same Delica bead. From here, 1, 2, and 3 15s. Circle around, go back through that same Delica bead, making sure that all of these little Pico trims stay to one side because that's what we're going to grab onto to put our Rivoli in and do our bezel. After you go through the Delica, go through the SuperDuo 15 SuperDuo, and your 15 after that, and then once again out through your Delica bead. Once you're out through your Delica bead there, you've got 3 more 15s to add, circling around, and you're going to do all of these 9 points on the piece. Once you have this little ring of Pico trim there, you are going to, after doing the last one here, go through that 15-0 that's next, through the SuperDuo, through the next 15-0, and basically what I'm doing is going back to that first little Pico trim. And once I'm back through there, making sure I'm not missing that 15-0 because we don't want to see a lot of extra thread. You're going to go up and get to the top of that Pico trim, meaning you put 3 beads on, but that wrapped around basically each Delica, and I want to come out there bead number 2. It sits at the point, so when you're looking at it, we're going to catch on to all of those points. When we catch on to those points, we are using a Delica, 15 Delica, and that's going to bring in our Rivoli. I don't need to put my Rivoli in right away, but I have it on standby because I can't finish this row without adding my Rivoli. So I'm going to go in, do about 2/3 of the way around, making sure again that it stays to the front of the project. Delica, 15, Delica, hold just one, and then into that next little Pico trim, number 2. Bring that towards the center of the project. Keep going all the way around and in. So again, Delica, 15 Delica, keeping it towards the front there, kind of folding it in towards the front. Towards the front as we work our way around. So again, as I'm getting around, I'm going to kind of get ready to pull that in towards the interior a little bit more. Adding those seed beads there. You can see I have my thumb wrapped around my Rivoli, kind of pushing it around. And then one thing that you're going to make sure to do is anytime you have a bezel like this, where you have a single piece of thread, this one here, holding in your Rivoli, we always like to reinforce. So as I go around here, I'm kind of pushing that Rivoli down towards the center, so it kind of pushes that point towards the back. Moving that thread out of the way. I'm here at the beginning. Delica, 15. Oops. Delica. And now I'm going to go back through all of those beads. So I'm going back through all of the beads that I added, the 15 Delica, 15. And then I'm going through all of the beads around the piece. So I'm not going to be adding any seed beads. I'm just going to be tightening up that outer row and pulling a little bit more towards the center to hold the Rivoli in place. Once that is well established and you have that nice tight pull in, we're going to work our way back out to the SuperDuos. Coming through the SuperDuos, we're going to get to the first hole of the second round of our SuperDuos. So here I am kind of coming out the side here. I'm going to go back through a Delica bead, back through a 15. That's after that Delica bead. That's part of that little Pico trim that I originally did. Nice tight pull. Back through the 15 there. Climbing up then through the 15s along the side of the SuperDuo. Out through the SuperDuo. And at the same time that I'm going out through the SuperDuo, I'm going to go out through that first 15-0 seed bead. I'm going to connect the 15-0 seed bead and go through the SuperDuos. So we're going to go through the 15s on either side of the SuperDuo, and we're going to add our crystal in the middle. So we're going to pick up a crystal, go through the next 15 SuperDuo, 15 along that outer edge. Plop that crystal right in the middle there. Again, crystal goes on. You're going to pick up the 15s that are right next to the SuperDuo and go through the 15, the SuperDuo, and then the 15 after the SuperDuo. Not down through both, just one. Just right next to that SuperDuo. On goes your crystal. And through the SuperDuos, or the SuperDuo with the 15. So we're just going through that first hole of the SuperDuo here. We're not going through the second hole yet. We'll go through the second hole and kind of connect to the crystals as well. This also is a great little bezel that you can use in a number of different ways. So you can use this all different ways. I'm gonna go around, I've got 4 on there. I've got a couple more to go. And we're gonna do that first layer of our crystals. I know it's hard to see with that white mat, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, bright crystal here. You can see with the different colors how that one looks also. Now that you've gone through and put all of your crystals in place, what you're going to do is we're going to catch onto that crystal and connect to the second row of the SuperDuos. We're going through a 15 through the crystal. And now we're just going to go around and connect the crystals to the upper side of your SuperDuo with 2 15s. 2 15s get added, you go into the second hole of the SuperDuo, pick up that crystal bicone that's next that you just added, and then 2 more 15s up to the second hole of the SuperDuo. Again, up to the second hole of the SuperDuo, through the bicone, up through 1 and 2, and through the SuperDuo. You can see that forms that nice connection along the top. And you're just going to continue the whole way, adding 2 15s, sewing through that crystal bicone, 2 15s into the next SuperDuo bead. Here at the top then, when you get around back to the beginning, you're just going to add your 2 15s, go through your crystal that your thread was coming out first, and that finishes up your pendant. It's so pretty, so simple, and so fast to make up. You also can see both sides here. You could make this the back and this the front if you want to as well for a completely different look. Now we have to build the bail. So whether or not you want to do the bail or a wire guard, you can certainly do that. This is not too big. You could use this for earrings as well too. It doesn't just need to be a pendant. I like it with that bright white for a nice summer look with that pendant, or you can make it even snowflakey looking for the fall and winter. I'm gonna come out through a SuperDuo and I'm gonna start to create my bail. My bail that I'm going to create is with my 15-Os, and I'm going to create 1 and 2 and 3 beads. Grab one of my crystals here and sew through. I'm going to grab another 10 beads and drop that all down next to my project. I'm going to go into the second hole, or that same hole rather, of the SuperDuo and kind of circle around. That puts it from the top going from one to the other. From here, I'm going to go through the first 3 seed beads and I'm going to go through the bicone. Once I'm through the bicone, I'm going to add 3 more seed beads and I'm going to go back through the SuperDuo. That's going to pull that bicone actually so it sits vertical. I'm going to go back through the 3 seed beads after it. I'm going to go through the bicone and see how that is through those 10 seed beads there. I'm going to go back through those 10 seed beads that create the back of the bail here, and I'm going to add 10 more on the opposite side. So we're going back through. The nice thing with this is it's reinforcing the thread as we go through. So I don't want to overthink it here. I'm just going back through all these beads. And again, there's a million different ways you can do this. Once I get back through, I'm going to go through the SuperDuo one more time. As I exit the SuperDuo, I'm going to pick up 10 more 15-Os. Here's 8, and of course I need to pour out a couple more. I always try at the end only to pour out what I need, so I don't have a lot to clean up. There's 8, 9, and 10. We're going back to that 11-0, or we're going back to that 2mm, 3mm crystal, and we're going to sew through the 3mm crystal. Make sure those seed beads kind of stay to the back of the SuperDuo, and that creates your bail. The way that the bail is created is that the crystal sits right on the top. And then when I put my piece through and through a cord, it sits right like that to the top of the piece. I'm just going to go down now and reinforce, pulling those to the back. I'm going to go through beads number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And once I come out through bead number 4, I'm just going to kind of pull these towards the back, almost like angel wings. I'm going to go down through bead number 5, 6, and 7. And once I'm at bead number 7, I'm going to go over to my 7th bead on the other side. And that's going to leave me with 3 beads at the end. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to sew through these beads here, going up. I'm going up through 4 beads. And then I'm going to go down through 4 beads. It's getting tight on that first side. Linking those together. And see how that pulls out to the back and that crystal sits right above the SuperDuo. So pretty. All I need to do now is continue to go down through my seed beads. As I exit, I'm going to go through the SuperDuo through hole number 1. Then I'm going to go through the SuperDuo, making sure I'm not catching on any thread, through hole number 2. And then once you're through hole number 2, we're going to jump from one SuperDuo to the next. I'm not worried too much about showing thread there. I'm going to jump from the outer hole to the inner hole, get my threads so they're at the same spot, and then simply tie my thread ends together. That completely finishes up our pendant. And again, you can do the bail all different ways. You can make a second one and make a pair of earrings if you want to. And I just want to flip it over and show you on a needle exactly how that beautiful pendant sits. Thanks so much for joining me in creating the Lunaria Pendant. Remember, there's lots of varieties that you can do, mixing it and making it colorful or keeping it nice and white like the Moonlight. As always, if you can, share your pictures of your designs in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making, and subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. As always, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.